basically to the chat, what does it take, and to you, what does it take for a franchise to make a big comeback? That's kind of a really broad topic. And I hope we can figure out a way to condense our thoughts here, but because Cyberpunk did it, There's, obviously the elephant in the room with, peeps that are into me is Halo Infinite. I don't want to go on a rant about that, but that's an example that a lot of us are hoping it has a similar comeback story. How long it'll take, who knows? It took Cyberpunk almost 2 years. And it's a single-player game, and it did that. And there's other games, too. I'm trying to remember that. Oh, No Man's Sky. That's another good example of, I feel like that was like 3 years later, maybe.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 is another great example. Launched.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. So what's like two things you think that should really be done to get people to come back?
Two things come to mind for me. One is dedication. Like, you have to be committed. Like, yep, we're going to do this. We're going to make this game better, and we're not going to listen to the haters online because like when Cyberpunk or any of those three games, No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk, and Final Fantasy 14, I'm sure there were plenty of people who were just saying this game is dead on arrival and you might as well just move on from here. But the studio was dedicated to it. And the other is a vision. I think you have to have a clear vision of what you want that game to be. I think, Sean Murray and Hello Games had that with No Man's Sky. They weren't able to achieve that vision. I definitely think they had it with Cyberpunk. I bet at CDPR they still haven't achieved their vision of what they want Cyberpunk to be, or what they initially imagined it could be. And then
they still have a multiplayer that they want to do.
Yeah, totally. Which I think was a whole separate game. I'm not sure. I wonder what's going on with that. But anyway, I think those are the two things, like dedication and vision. Yeah. And I would agree with you on those. If I said to, I think it would be, I do think it's important to have something big to market, like something big that pulls not only fans in, but potentially the broader audiences. And my example, I've told people about Infinite, where it's like, oh, how do you think that game could be revived? Well, the show didn't work out. Cyberpunk had a show, and that's like a big marketable thing this game did. But, a lot of people love Halo campaigns. That's why they go to the games a lot of the times. And so if they have a big DLC thing to market, maybe they market that like holy hell. And they just promote all the other stuff that they've added to the game since launch while they're at it. And that could be a way. Yeah.
So I definitely think something big to market. But you have to do that after the core fan base is like they admit finally this is in a good state. And maybe that's another thing Cyberpunk did too. They had a trailer for new DLC. That's my example. They had a trailer for not just the anime, but new DLC. And maybe that's another reason that people are like, I think the game's finally where they want it to be, so I'll finally give it a shot now, and now that they know there's new stuff coming. So maybe that's another way. But the question to everybody else, how do you think a franchise can come back? It doesn't even have to be the game world. If you feel the same way about like Marvel or Star Wars, you can say that too. Let us know in the comments or the chat. How does a franchise make its return?